Anna's campaign video opened with June's voice coming through the library speakers. I used to stand outside the hallway and count how many people went past before I could make myself move. The Northside branch meeting room smelled of coffee, old carpet, and wet coats warming near the radiator. Anna stood beside the screen in a blue blazer, hands folded, waiting for the applause. June sat beside me in the second row, rigid. I knew the recording. She had made it last spring for a school assignment, late at the dining room table when the house was quiet enough for her to describe the crowded halls during her worst months. I had helped her upload it to our shared family cloud folder when her laptop ran out of space. She had not offered it to neighbors, teachers, school board regulars, and parents from her grade. Owen looked from the screen to June. "Is that you?" June's hands disappeared inside the sleeves of her gray sweatshirt. The video moved through bus stops, classroom doors, Anna talking with parents. Then June again. What helped was when people stopped acting like I was being difficult. The room went quiet in that pleased, attentive way people got when they believed they were being invited into something brave. I leaned toward June. "We're leaving?" She nodded once. The video ended to applause. Anna started toward the microphone, smiling at the first people standing. I caught her eye and pointed toward the corridor. Her smile held for half a second, then changed. June and Owen waited by the drinking fountain while Anna came out. "Did June agree to that?" I asked. Anna looked past me toward the room. "Miles!" "Did she?" Her face tightened. "I didn't ask her." June stared at the floor tiles. "Why not?" Anna lowered her voice. "Because she would have said no." Behind us, chairs scraped and someone laughed too loudly. The projector fan kept running. I looked at my daughter standing very still beside the fountain and understood this had not been a rushed campaign mistake. Anna had made the choice because June's answer would have interfered with her plans. Anna pushed through the library's side door after us, letting it close hard enough that Owen jumped. The parking lot was wet from earlier rain. Campaign signs leaned against the brick wall, their corners soft in the damp. Volunteers crossed between cars with cookie trays and stacks of brochures. June had gone ahead to the car. She sat in the back seat with her forehead against the window. Owen climbed in beside her without questions, which was unlike him. "What were you thinking?" I asked Anna. She stood under the yellow security light, arms folded tight. "People need to understand what this looks like for families. June isn't a family example." "I know that." "No, I don't think you do." Her eyes flashed. It was a short clip. It wasn't sensationalized. Mateo put it with the access footage because it made the point better than I could. There it was. Not an apology. A reason the decision had worked. "You used her voice because it made your point better." "I used it because school anxiety is invisible until someone explains it. You know that. You watched her struggle. I watched her decide what she wanted to say about it. That's different." Anna looked toward the car. "I wasn't trying to hurt her. I believe you didn't want her hurt. You still knew she'd say no." She rubbed the bridge of her nose. The library doors opened behind us, spilling warm light across the pavement before they shut again. "This campaign is about whether kids get support before they disappear inside a system," she said. "It matters. I've worked on this for years." "So that gives you her recording?" "That's not what I said." "It's what you did." For a moment, she looked tired instead of defensive. Then her shoulders squared. "I can talk to Sasha tomorrow about what's already posted. I can find out what can be changed, removed. Miles, volunteers already have materials. The launch clips are moving. I can't promise everything disappears tonight. I'm not asking for tonight. I'm asking you to treat it like it matters." "It does." "Then say that to June." Anna looked through the rear window. June had turned her face away from us. "I will," she said. "Tonight." She exhaled. "Tonight." I got into the driver's seat before I said something that would make June feel she had to comfort either of us. At a red light on Grand Avenue, I glanced in the rearview mirror. June's phone lit her face pale against the window. A clip from the launch was already playing on someone else's screen. At home, June went upstairs before I had my coat off. Anna stood in the kitchen taking a call. "No, it went well," she said, bright enough that I could hear the person on the other end. "Really well. We had a full room." I took Owen upstairs, found his pajamas under the clean laundry he had not put away, and helped him locate his reading log. Toothbrush, water glass, one more bathroom trip. The ordinary steps were useful because they had an order. Is June mad? He asked when I tucked him in. Yes. At Mom? Yes. Are you? I sat on the edge of his bed. I'm dealing with it. He considered that. Okay. It was not okay, but he was 10. He did not need a box he could not carry. June's door was shut. I knocked. Yeah. Her desk lamp was the only light on. She sat cross-legged on her bed, scrolling through her phone with the flat, tired expression she got when too many people had seen something she wished they had not. Can I come in? She shrugged. I took the desk chair. Sitting beside her would have felt like crowding her into an answer. I saw the clips, I said. Yeah. Do you want me to see what else is out there? Not really. Okay. She put her phone down. People are commenting like I'm a campaign testimonial. I know. No, you know it's bad. Tomorrow somebody at school is going to say they saw it, and then I'm supposed to act like it's fine because Mom was trying to help kids. You don't have to act like it's fine. That's what everybody says, before they make it about something else. Downstairs, a cabinet closed. Anna's voice moved through the kitchen in a low murmur. June picked at a loose thread on her sleeve. She'll apologize, and then people will talk about how hard campaigning is, or how important the issue is, and I'll be the reason everybody's fighting. You aren't. She gave me a look that said I had answered too fast. I'm going to work on getting the audio removed, I said, and I won't share anything else about you. Not with the campaign, not with anyone. Can you actually do that? I can be clear about it. That was not a promise I could control, and she knew it. Her phone buzzed. She turned it face down. Can you tell Mom not to come in? She asked. Tonight? Maybe until I say. Okay. When I went downstairs, Anna had ended her call and was rinsing 2 wine glasses neither of us had used. I need to move Owen's dental appointment, I said. I needed something practical before we started again. Does Tuesday still work? The calendar should have it. I opened the shared household calendar on my phone. Owen's appointment sat there in blue, along with my work meeting, June's tutoring check-in, and a string of entries labeled policy research, every Thursday afternoon for the past 3 months. No campaign location, no notes. Just 2 hours, blocked from 3 to 5. The next morning, my coffee went cold beside the toaster while I scrolled through the shared calendar. We had started using it because otherwise somebody forgot an appointment or assumed the other person was handling pickup. It held the machinery of our lives. School events, work meetings, soccer, tutoring, dental appointments, campaign stops. And then there were the Thursday blocks. Policy research, 3 to 5. They began in July, when Anna's campaign had still been folding tables and donor spreadsheets. A few had locations attached. Downtown once, East Market twice. Most had nothing. My father used to say questions could make a house unlivable. He said it quietly, usually after my mother asked where he had been or why he had stopped speaking halfway through dinner. He never called her unreasonable. He just made the question sound like the injury. Then he would go to the garage or walk around the block and call it keeping the peace. I had spent a lot of my adult life trying not to sound like someone building a case. Anna came downstairs in running clothes, phone in hand. Can Owen's appointment move to Thursday? I asked. She opened the refrigerator. Which Thursday? Next week. I have policy research. Where? She looked at me over the refrigerator door. Downtown, I think. You think? Miles. It's on the calendar. It doesn't say where. Then I didn't put where. The toaster popped. Neither of us reached for it. I'm trying to line things up, I said. Then line up the appointment. I can take him another day. Her tone was sharper than the question called for. I knew it. I also knew my own habit. Spot the delay, tell myself it would clear if I did not make anyone reroute. Anna picked up her tote bag. Are we doing this now? Doing what? This thing where every calendar entry is suspicious because you're mad about the video. I could have said being angry did not make me wrong to ask. Instead, I looked at the calendar. I'm trying to schedule Owen's dentist, I said. She gave a short laugh without humor and left. After the door closed, I moved the appointment to Tuesday. Then I stared at the Thursday blocks until my screen dimmed. 2 days later, breakfast had the uneven rhythm of a morning that began late. Owen could not find his other sneaker. June wanted to know why there was no clean milk glass, as if I had personally arranged the dishwasher to offend her. Anna sent emails one-handed while eating toast. I found Owen's sneaker under the living room radiator. When I came back, I said, "Are you still doing research Thursday afternoon?" Anna did not look up. Yes. Where? Her thumb stopped moving. Miles, I'm asking. At a meeting. With who? She set down her phone. Campaign people, community people, people with thoughts about school policy. Is that specific enough? June lifted her eyes from her cereal. Owen stopped tying his shoe. I regretted asking there. Not because the question was wrong, but because I had let it enter the room like a draft. We can talk later, I said. Anna shook her head. No. Go ahead. What is this? I don't know, that's why I asked. You don't know, but you've decided it means something. I didn't say that. You're acting like I need permission to have a meeting. I'm acting like we share a calendar, and you've had the same unexplained block every week for months. Her face changed. Less anger, more alertness. It lasted a second. Policy research, she said. That is what it is. June pushed back from the table. I'm walking. You need a ride, Anna said. I said I'm walking. June grabbed her backpack and left before either of us answered. The silence afterward had edges. Owen looked at his plate. I can skip the poster board. What poster board? I asked. For my science project. He shrugged. We have to get it today, but it's okay. I can use notebook paper. We'll get poster board. You don't have to. Everybody's busy. Something in me went still. He said it the way I had said things as a kid. No problem. I can handle it. Do not worry about me. The words that let adults keep moving without looking down. You need poster board, I said. That's a normal thing to need. He watched me carefully. We'll stop after school. Blue or white? Blue, he said almost too quietly. Blue it is. Anna picked up her phone. I'll take him. I can do it. I said I'll take him. Owen looked between us like he was calculating which answer cost the least. At drop-off, I watched him walk toward the elementary school doors, his backpack bouncing against his shoulders. Anna took June's carpool shift without speaking to me. I could have searched Anna's phone while she showered, followed a location from the calendar, asked campaign people questions they had no reason to answer. That would not make me steadier. It would make me my father in a different direction, silent until silence became something else. I decided I would wait for a reason I could name plainly. Then I would ask Anna directly. Priya called at 3:18 on Thursday afternoon while I was trying to turn a route coverage memo into something people might actually read before the next service meeting. Her name lit up on my phone. Priya had been our friend before she became Anna's campaign treasurer, which meant I answered with, if this is about a spreadsheet, I'm charging consulting fees. It's worse, she said. Folding tables. I leaned back in my chair. My office overlooked the bus garage, where two drivers stood beside a coach with its engine panel open. That's outside my license. Saturday's volunteer canvas. We're trying to set the starting groups. Anna said you might come, but Mateo has a question about the first shift. About me? Not exactly. She hesitated. He asked whether you'd be there with the kids, and I said I didn't think so. Then he said he'd assumed you and Anna had been living separately for months. I thought maybe I'd misunderstood the plan. For a moment, I heard only the garage's low mechanical hum. What did you say? I asked. Nothing useful, apparently. Her voice lost its joking edge. Miles, I'm sorry. He said it like it was logistics. Did he say why he thought that? No, I didn't ask. I thought maybe Anna had told him something and you were handling it privately. My cursor blinked on the unfinished memo. A sentence about missed connections sat in the middle of the screen. He said she'd been living separately for months. Priya exhaled. I'm sorry, I don't want to be in the middle of anything. You aren't, I said. She was, without meaning to be. You called about Saturday. Do you still want me to put you down? I looked through the window at buses easing in and out of their bays. Everyone had a route and a place it was meant to arrive. That did not mean it got there cleanly. No, I said, don't put me down. After we hung up, I opened the family calendar. Thursday, policy research, 3 to 5. I did not call Mateo. I did not go looking for Anna. I did not search through anything that was not mine to search. I sat at my desk until the memo blurred into gray lines. Then I texted Anna. We need to talk tonight. Privately. Her reply came almost at once. Did Priya call you? I typed, yes. The 3 dots appeared, vanished, then appeared again. Please don't make a scene before the volunteer meeting, she wrote. I looked at the message. Then I wrote, I'm not making a scene. I'm asking for a conversation. Her answer was shorter. After the meeting, Anna was loading a box of campaign buttons into her car when I came down the driveway. A few had spilled onto the concrete. Anna Harrow. Better schools, clearer paths. She looked toward the front window. The kids can see you. I know. Then what is this? I need to talk to you tonight. Her mouth tightened. About what? Mateo. For a second, she stood perfectly still. Then she bent to pick up a button near the bumper. Priya called you, she said. She asked me a question. What exactly did she say? I'm not doing this as a deposition. Her eyes came back to mine. I'm asking for a private conversation, I said. Tonight. There's a volunteer meeting in 40 minutes. I know. You want to do this now? No. I want to do it after the meeting, after the kids are asleep. She looked toward the house again. June was upstairs. Owen was in the living room with the dog, probably trying to keep it from eating something it shouldn't. I can't walk into that meeting looking like this, Anna said. Like what? She stopped. I kept my voice level, but I had started to understand that an even tone was not the same as saying something clearly. My father had used calmness like a locked door. He would call it keeping the peace when what he meant was that nobody got an answer. I'm not going to make a scene, I said. I'm not asking Priya for more information. I'm not confronting Mateo in front of volunteers, but I'm not going to act like I didn't hear what I heard. Anna set the button back in the box. After the meeting, she said. After the kids are asleep. Her jaw shifted. Fine. Inside, Owen looked up from the floor. Mom leaving? He asked. Volunteer meeting. Are we going? Not tonight. He nodded with enough relief that I noticed it. June took one earbud out. Is she mad? No, I said. It was a weak answer. June looked at me for a moment, then put the earbud back in. The volunteer meeting was at the neighborhood recreation hall behind a baseball field. I drove separately. Through the glass doors, I could see folding tables, paper signs, coffee urns, and people in campaign stickers trying to look cheerful under fluorescent lights. Priya spotted me near the entrance. Hey, she said. I wasn't sure you were coming. I wasn't sure either. We have extra chairs, that's the good news. The bad news is somebody ordered decaf only. Normally I would have said something about an operation collapsing over hot water and beans. I managed a small smile instead. Anna stood near the front with a clipboard. She saw me and kept track of where I was without coming over. Mateo arrived 10 minutes later with a laptop bag over one shoulder and a rolled poster board under his arm. I knew him well enough to recognize his way of moving through a room, useful without trying to be the center of it. He had been at our house for planning meetings. He had made Anna's launch video. Miles, he said. Good to see you. Hey, he held out his hand. I shook it. Nothing in his face suggested he expected a confrontation. He looked like a man who had driven over to make sure a candidate had the right files for a local election. That made it worse in a quiet way. Anna joined us. Mateo has the revised forum clips. Good, I said. Mateo looked between us. I'll get those set up. For the next hour, I did what I had said I would do. I passed out sign-up sheets. I helped move a table so a woman using a walker could get through without turning sideways. Local politics had a talent for creating small access problems with committee-level confidence. Anna spoke about library access, school transportation, and students who needed support before they got lost in the system. People clapped. She believed those things. That was part of what made everything harder to sort cleanly. When the meeting ended, I waited near the door until she noticed me. I'll be home soon, she said. I'll be there. Outside, I sat in my car with both hands on the wheel. I did not need more fragments. I did not need a better theory. I needed Anna to tell me what had happened in a room where neither of us could leave by calling it peace. By the time Anna came home, the dishwasher had finished and the house had settled into its nighttime noises. Owen's white noise machine sent a steady wash of rain through the ceiling. The dog had taken over the rug by the back door. On the kitchen table, Owen's math pages sat beside a grocery list in Anna's handwriting. Milk, apples, dish soap. Anna set down her tote bag. You stayed awake, she said. I said I would. She looked toward the stairs. Are they asleep? Yes. I sat at the table. Sit down. She did. I don't want to do this like I'm building a case, I said. I don't want a case. What did Priya tell you? She said Mateo believed you'd been living separately for months. Anna looked at the floor. That's not something a person assumes by accident, I said. No. Are you having an affair with him? Her hands went flat on the table. Yes. The word landed without drama. It just made everything before it rearranged itself. How long? Since the spring. Is it over? Yes. When did it end? A few weeks ago. Before the launch? Yes. I looked up. And you still let him make a video from June's voice. That wasn't because of Mateo. Her face folded. That was me. I made that decision. You made a lot of decisions alone. I know. I let out a breath through my nose. What did you tell him about us? Miles. What did you tell him? She closed her eyes for a moment. That we were effectively separated. We weren't. We hadn't been okay for a long time. That isn't the same thing. No, she said quietly. It isn't. I wanted to ask for every detail. Where they had met. What she had said. Whether people at campaign events had known something I did not. None of it would change what was in front of me. Did he think you were leaving? I asked. Anna looked at me and I had the answer before she spoke. He thought I would leave after the election. I laughed once. The sound surprised both of us. After the election, I didn't know what I was going to do. But you gave him a version where you did. I was trying to get through things. That's what you keep saying. Because it's true. I stood and went to the sink. The dark window showed my reflection over the backyard. I was lonely, Anna said behind me. You handled things. You packed lunches and made schedules and kept the house running. But you wouldn't tell me what you wanted unless it was practical enough to put on a list. The words hurt because there was truth in them. Being useful had always been easier for me than being visible. I turned toward her. You could have told me the marriage was ending. I know. She covered her face, then lowered her hands. I don't want to blow up the kids' lives 6 weeks before an election, she said. June already has enough at school. Owen needs routine, and I don't want this city deciding it knows our family because I ran for school board. What do you want? I want us to get through the election. I waited. Not forever, she said. I'm not asking you to pretend forever. I'm asking for 6 weeks. We can get counseling after. We can figure out what happens after. Are you asking to work on this marriage? I'm asking not to make a permanent decision while everything is at its worst. That was not the same answer. I thought of June sitting rigid in the library while her voice came through speakers she had never agreed to stand behind. I thought of Owen already learning to make himself easy. The kids are already in this, I said. Anna's eyes were wet. Please, just get through the election with me. The request sat between us, dressed up as temporary. 6 weeks was not a plan. It was a calendar page with a hole through the middle. Anna came into the bedroom the next morning already dressed for work. Her campaign blazer hung over the desk chair. I had slept badly on top of the covers, waking whenever a car passed outside. We need to talk about what today looks like, she said. It's Tuesday, I said. You have all of it written down. Yes. Of course you do. She took that without answering. June has school until 3, she said. Owen has robotics. I have the Literacy Coalition meeting at 5, then Canvas kickoff. I'm not telling the kids about Mateo. I wouldn't ask you to. And I don't think we tell them adult details. No. I sat in the desk chair. What exactly are you asking from me? For the next 6 weeks? We keep the house stable, school, meals, rides. No fighting in front of them, no public announcement. Then we get counseling and figure out whether there's a way forward. You're asking me to wait. I'm asking you not to decide our whole future in the middle of the campaign. That's different. I don't have a clean answer for you this morning, Miles. No. She looked down at her hands. I know. I thought about the months when June had struggled to enter school. We had learned to arrive early, wait until the hallway thinned, and make the day smaller enough to begin. A separation would disrupt her. It would disrupt Owen. But so would staying in a house where Anna left for campaign meetings, and I kept reducing every hard sentence until it no longer sounded true. What does stable mean to you? I asked. Breakfast, school, dinners when we can, no sudden moves. And campaign events? She hesitated. Anna, I'm not asking June to speak, she said. I'm not asking either of them to perform. That's not what I asked. Some things are just family things. Your campaign launch was a family thing? Her eyes flashed. I said I was sorry. You said you regretted not asking. You still think using it helped. I think people understood something they don't understand nearly enough. June understood it. That stopped her. I had spent most of my adult life treating the absence of a fight as proof I was doing right by people. It had taken me too long to notice how much room silence gave everyone else to set the terms. "I'll agree to 6 weeks," I said. Relief crossed her face so quickly it made my stomach tighten. "Not because this is fixed," I continued, "and not because I'm saying the marriage is fine. I won't make a public announcement before the election. We keep the kids out of adult details. We keep the house as calm as we can." Anna nodded. "But we need to define normal," I said. "I'm not agreeing to normal if it means the children are supposed to make things look better." Her relief narrowed into caution. "We can talk about that," she said. "We will." At breakfast, Owen described a green robotics project named Pickle. June ate half a piece of toast and checked her phone under the table. From outside, the morning ran on schedule. Inside it, I had agreed to delay a decision I had not made, and Anna had heard something closer to permission. The following week, our house became very efficient. Anna left notes on the counter when she had an early campaign stop. I updated the shared calendar with Owen's robotics pickup and June's guidance office appointment. We texted about groceries, laundry, and the dog. At dinner, we stayed with safe subjects. Teachers, potholes, whether the Steelers' offense had any plan at all. June could tell. On Thursday, I picked her up outside Marlow High. She got into the car, put her bag at her feet, and stared through the windshield. "Mom's coming home late," she said. "Campaign meeting." "Okay." She said it like she was filing a receipt. "How was school?" "Fine." "Actually, fine." She looked at me. "Do you want the real answer or the answer that gets us home faster?" "The real one." One of the girls in Calc asked if I was doing better. "Because of the video?" "I don't know." She said it like she'd watched a documentary about me. I kept my eyes on the road. "I'm sorry. You keep saying that too." There was nothing useful to add. At home, Anna was in the kitchen with her campaign manager on speakerphone. "Friday, parent council breakfast," the voice said. "Saturday, canvas launch. Next Wednesday, we need the revised family resilience language approved before print." Anna's eyes met mine. She ended the call. "The original audio is being taken out of the video package," she said. "Where?" "Future events, the campaign site, the social clips we control." "What about copies people downloaded?" "We can't pull things from everyone's phones, Miles." "I know." Her expression softened as though that were a concession. "The campaign can still talk about family resilience without June's name or voice," she said. "It's about the system students need." "You mean it's still about us?" "It's about what I've seen as a parent. There's a difference between being a parent and making the children your proof. That isn't fair. June gets recognized at school because of a story you chose to tell. I didn't name her. You didn't have to." Anna picked up her phone, then set it back down. "We agreed to get through this campaign," she said. "We agreed not to make a public announcement." "You know what I meant." "No," I said. "I'm learning I don't always know what you mean." That evening, I opened the shared calendar to check Owen's dental appointment. The screen was full of color-coded blocks: work, school, campaign, groceries, robotics. On paper, it was workable. The drives lined up. The pickups had coverage. Nobody was double-booked. The calendar could not show June upstairs avoiding a hallway because a campaign message had followed her there. It could not show Anna treating removal of one file like repair. It could not show me trying to decide how much quiet I could call protection before it became something else. At work, a root problem had a shape I understood. A temporary stop near the medical center had become inaccessible during construction. I checked the detour map, called the field supervisor, and wrote up options. None was perfect. One was workable by the end of the day. Home did not offer that kind of satisfaction. When I got back Friday, Anna's car was gone. June was at the kitchen table with her laptop. Owen was building a cardboard drawbridge beside her. "It has a secret opening," he told me. "Every good bridge does." June looked over her screen. "That is not how bridges work." "It is how this one works," Owen said. I started dinner. Then June asked, "Are you mad at Mom?" The faucet ran over my hands. Owen stopped taping. I could have given her a true, limited answer. There were adult problems. We were working through them. Instead, I reached for the knife. "Your mom and I have things to talk about," I said. "You don't need to worry about it." June's face went still. "That's not what I asked." "I know." "So you're both doing that thing." "What thing?" "The thing where you decide what everyone can handle, then act like it's for their benefit." Owen's hands went flat on the table. I set the knife down. "I'm trying not to put you in the middle," I said. "I'm already in the middle." She went upstairs. Her door did not slam. It didn't need to. My father used to go silent when our house got tense. He would read the paper at the end of the table or disappear into the garage and call it cooling down. I had thought he was calm. Later I understood that silence had a sound, too. It sounded like everyone else trying to guess what was allowed. Anna came home after dinner carrying Thai food. "I know you made dinner," she said, then saw the plates in the sink and stopped. "What happened?" "June asked if I was angry with you. I gave her a vague answer." Her shoulders dropped. "Miles." "I know. That isn't fair to her." "No." She looked toward the stairs. "I'll talk to her. Not tonight." "Why not?" "Because she doesn't need another adult coming into her room to explain what she can and can't know." Anna's eyes hardened. "So we tell her everything?" "I'm saying withholding every hard thing isn't the same as protecting her." My phone buzzed on the counter. The email was from Sasha Bell, the campaign volunteer who handled content approvals. Subject: family materials. Quick confirmation needed. She was preparing a mailer, a website update, and final week posts. Could campaign photos of the family be reused? Did I have a short quote about school transportation and the kind of support families need? Did we approve informal photos from the fall volunteer picnic? I read it twice. Anna came around the counter. "What is it?" I handed her the phone. "That's just Sasha doing her job," she said. "That's the problem." I answered Sasha from my office the next morning. The building was quiet for a Saturday. Through the window, downtown buses moved along Grant Street under a gray sky. Sasha had not done anything wrong. She had asked a normal campaign question in the language of normal campaign work: photos, quotations, informal images, approval. The problem was that the campaign had treated our family like a source of material waiting to be scheduled. I wrote, "Please place all Harrow family content on hold. This includes photos, quotations, recordings, event appearances, and references tied to June's or Owen's private experiences. No new approval should be assumed." I added, "We are reviewing material already used and will respond about specific items through the campaign's regular process." I did not mention the affair. Sasha did not need it to do what I was asking. I copied Anna and sent it. Her reply came 11 minutes later. "Can you call me before sending anything?" I called. "Please don't send that yet," she said. "I already did." Miles, "It puts things on hold. It doesn't accuse anyone. It makes this sound like there's a dispute. There is. Not one Sasha needs to be pulled into. She asked for permission. She asked for a routine confirmation. From who? From us. Then I'm confirming my answer." For a moment, all I heard was traffic on her end of the line. "You're making this harder than it has to be," Anna said. "I'm making it clear. You don't get to make unilateral decisions about the campaign. I'm not deciding your campaign. I'm saying you don't get to use the kids or me as campaign material without asking. I wasn't going to use June's audio again. I know. That isn't all Sasha asked for." Anna went quiet. "You agreed to 6 weeks," she said. "I agreed not to announce our separation before the election. You knew I would still be campaigning?" "Yes." "And you knew people would want to see a family. That doesn't mean they're entitled to one." Her breath caught. "I'm trying to keep us from falling apart," she said. "No," I said. "You're trying to keep us looking like we haven't." At home that afternoon, June was on the couch under a blanket. Owen was on the floor beside his cardboard bridge. Anna sat at the dining table staring at her laptop. I set my keys in the bowl by the door. "We need a rule," I said. Anna closed the laptop halfway. "What rule?" "No family content goes anywhere without the person it belongs to saying yes. Not a general yes someone assumes. Not a yes because it helps. An actual yes." June looked at me. Owen frowned. "Like pictures?" "Pictures. Recordings. Stories. Quotes. Anything about you. Even my bridge? Especially your bridge." He smiled a little. Anna leaned back in her chair. "We can talk about this. We are talking about it. If you've ever had to draw a line after someone treated your family like a story they could use, stay with me." Anna came in after 7 with her coat still on and her phone in her hand. I was at the kitchen table. The dishwasher ran behind me, a steady mechanical swish. "Sasha said you put a hold on the photo request?" Anna said. "I did. We had an agreement. We agreed not to announce anything before the election." "That's not what it felt like." "No," I said. "Probably not." She crossed her arms. "I'm not trying to use the kids every time they appear in public. The campaign asked for new pictures of them and a quote about our family. And I said I'd talk to you. You didn't tell me they were still asking? I didn't know they'd asked today. That part, I believed. It did not solve the rest. I had spent most of my life smoothing conversations over before they became difficult. The habit was already there, waiting for me to say I knew she had a lot going on, that we could revisit this later. Instead, I kept my hands flat on the table. No more family material goes out unless the person it's about agrees to it, I said. Not me agreeing for June, not you agreeing for Owen, them if it's their picture or story or voice. Owen is 10. Then we explain it so he understands, and he gets to say no. He'd say yes if he thought it would help me. That isn't a reason to accept it. Her face shifted at that. The audio is coming down, she said. Sasha has started reviewing the campaign channels. Thank you. You don't have to say it like I'm doing you a favor. I'm saying it because it matters. She pressed her thumb into the edge of her phone case. The campaign isn't built around June's recording. I know. It's about what families are dealing with. School pressure, transportation, kids falling through gaps. That work matters. It does. Then I can't erase every reference to family resilience because you don't like the phrase. This isn't about a phrase, isn't it? I looked at the dark window over the sink. Our reflections sat there. Two tired people trying to make their own position sound reasonable. You can talk about policy, I said. You can talk about being a parent, but you don't need to use this house as proof your message is real. I'm not using the house. You used a private recording from it in a library full of voters. She looked down. What I want is clear, I said. No new campaign stories, pictures, quotes, or appearances from any of us unless the person involved knows what is being requested and says yes. Anna gave a brief, humorless laugh. You make it sound like I'm asking them to testify. I'm asking you to stop asking them to reassure strangers. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she nodded once. Fine. No new content. Okay. But I'm not rewriting the whole campaign because you're hurt. I let that pass. Hurt was too small a word for the problem, and arguing about it would only give us somewhere less important to stand. At the stairs, she stopped. There's a Northside Coalition event next Thursday, she said. At Lincoln Middle. I'm speaking for 5 minutes. It isn't a rally. What is it? A school community night, local programs, a student support panel. Owen's Robotics Club has a table. And you want us there. I want us to have a normal evening. I watched her wait for me to accept that distinction. I'll think about it, I said. After she went upstairs, I folded Sasha's printed request and put it in the drawer with takeout menus and spare batteries. Before I answered Anna, I needed to ask June and Owen what a normal night would cost them. Anna brought up the Northside Coalition event at dinner as if she were asking whether we had milk. It's Thursday, she said, passing Owen the grated cheese. Lincoln Middle. Local programs, school support tables, a panel. Owen's robotics group will be there, she added. They said kids can drive the rover. That sounds cool, Owen said. It does, I said. Anna looked relieved too quickly. I'll speak for a few minutes, she said. But it's a community event, not a campaign event. June looked up from her plate. Will people know you're there because of the campaign? Anna paused. Some will. I'm a candidate. But I was also invited through the coalition and my work. So both. It isn't. June, you wouldn't have to do anything. You'd just come as my family. The phrase sat on the table. Like at the library? June asked. No, Anna said quickly. Nothing like that. You said I was just coming as your family then, too. Owen held a piece of bread in both hands without taking a bite. Anna leaned forward. I know I hurt you. I'm trying to make things feel normal again. Why? Because we're a family. June gave a small shrug. That doesn't answer it. I knew the urge to find a practical exit from a bad meeting. At work, somebody would ask for a map or a cost estimate, and the conversation could move to safer ground. At home, leaving a question unanswered only made it louder. Anna looked at me. Miles? I think we should ask each kid separately, I said. Her jaw shifted. Why does it need to be a process? Because June was told she was just attending something once already? That's not fair. No, I said. It wasn't. Owen looked at me. Do I have to go? For a second, I almost gave him the old answer. We'll see. Maybe it will be fun. You don't have to, I said. We can talk about what you want. Anna pushed her chair back. This is exactly what I mean. We're turning a simple evening into a referendum. No, June said. Anna looked at her. Dad's asking us if we want to go. Dinner ended in pieces. Owen asked to be excused. June took her plate upstairs. Anna loaded the dishwasher with more force than the dishes required. I followed her to the sink. "You don't get to make every public room off-limits," she said. "I'm not. That's what it feels like. I'm trying to understand the difference between us living our lives and the campaign using us to show people everything is fine." "Who said everything is fine? You said a normal night would help." Her hands stopped on a plate. "People are talking about the launch video." "I know. They're asking whether June was okay with it." "Then another public room isn't the answer." "I wouldn't put her in front of anyone." "You wouldn't have to. She'd still be there while people decided the story had settled." Anna set the plate down. "You think I'm trying to parade them around? I think you want the room to relax when it sees us together. That doesn't make me a monster." I didn't say it did. Her face tightened. "I have spent years trying to get people to pay attention to families who are ignored," she said. "I know. And now I'm supposed to act like I don't have one." "No. You're supposed to let them decide when they are part of your public work." The next morning, I saw the event on the shared calendar. Anna's remarks. The robotics table. A reminder added after dinner. Harrow family. Arrive 6:15. I did not delete it. I also did not accept it. I parked 2 blocks from Marlowe High, where the pickup line thinned into idling cars and parents pretending not to watch the school doors. June got in with her backpack hanging from one shoulder and her headphones around her neck. "Hey," I said. "Hey." We pulled away from the curb. "Your mom told you about Thursday?" "Yeah." "I'm not calling you somewhere. I wanted to ask what you want." June looked through the passenger window. "You mean if I want to go?" "Yes." "I don't." "Okay." She nodded once, still looking outside. "I don't need a reason." "I have one." "You can tell me if you want." She turned her phone over in her lap. "I don't want people looking at me like they know something about me. I know that sounds dramatic. It doesn't. They don't know anything, really. They just know enough to make that face." She widened her eyes and lowered her voice, doing an imitation of public concern. It was familiar. Sympathy performed where the person receiving it had nowhere to put it. "At school, Mrs. Dwyer's mom asked if I was doing better," June said. "She said she saw Mom's video and that it was brave, like I was supposed to thank her. I'm sorry." "I know you are." We stopped beside a city bus. At the corner, the driver lowered the front end toward the curb for a man using a cane. It was small and practiced. Access worked best when nobody had to make a speech about it. "Can you make them take the audio down?" June asked. "I can keep asking. The campaign is reviewing everything it controls. Your mom agreed it shouldn't stay up." "But people already copied it." "I know. I don't want you yelling at her about me." "I won't. You'll tell her I said all this." "I can tell her your boundary without giving her every word." June turned toward me. "What does that mean?" "I can say you don't want campaign events. You want the recording removed wherever possible. And you don't want to explain yourself to people." "What if she gets mad?" "That would be between her and me." Her mouth tightened. "It's always between people, and then it comes back to me." There was no honest way to deny that. "You're right," I said. "It has." The light changed. I eased back into traffic. "I can't promise nobody will make this about you again," I said, "but I'm not going to tell you that you have to go somewhere to make things easier for us. What if you and Mom fight?" "We may." "Because I said no?" "Because adults are responsible for what they do with no." "You aren't." She picked at a frayed thread on her backpack strap. "I don't want Mom to lose because of me," she said. "You aren't making her lose anything." "She'll say she didn't mean it like that." "Maybe. That still doesn't make you responsible for her campaign." I pulled over near our house. June did not reach for the door yet. "Do you want me to tell her tonight?" I asked. She thought about it. "You can tell her. Just don't make it sound like I'm making a big statement." "I won't." "And don't say I hate her." "I won't say anything you didn't say." The corner of her mouth lifted. "Dad?" "Yeah?" "Thanks for asking." She got out and shut the door. A car behind me tapped its horn, not angry, just reminding me I was stopped where cars needed to go. At home, Anna would want details. I had them. They were not mine to give her. Sasha called at 6:15 the next evening. Anna put her on speakerphone. The 3 of us sat around the kitchen table. Anna had a legal pad. I had my laptop open to the campaign materials Sasha had listed: posts, short videos, event slides, newsletter drafts, photographs. There were more of them than I expected. "First, I'm sorry," Sasha said. I'm sorry the materials created a problem. I didn't know." "This isn't on you," Anna said. Sasha paused. "Okay, thank you." "The launch video is down from the campaign site and main social channels," Sasha continued. "We flagged the short versions. 2 are removed. 1 was reposted by a neighborhood account, and I contacted them, but I can't promise when they'll respond." "That's fine," I said. "I understand." "We also have still images. 1 is scheduled for the weekend email. Anna with both kids at the literacy fair last spring." "Hold it," I said. I heard Sasha type. "Held." "There's also a quote draft," she said. "It isn't attributed to either child. It says, 'Every family knows the difference one steady school can make.'" Anna looked at me. "That could be any family." "It could," I said. "But it's beside our pictures." Sasha spoke carefully. "The layout does connect it to the family section." "Hold that too, please." "Held." Anna rubbed the bridge of her nose. "We can't pull every mention of family from the campaign." "I didn't ask you to. You're asking Sasha to rebuild things 2 weeks out. I'm asking her to remove material about our kids." Sasha went quiet. "For planning purposes," she said. "Can I put a blanket hold on new family-related requests until I get a different instruction in writing?" "Yes," I said. Anna looked at the calendar on her pad. "A hold on family-specific content, not the campaign's broader message." "Family-specific," I said. "Pictures, recordings, quotes, event appearances, or anything tied to either child's personal experience." "I can mark it consent review required," Sasha said. The phrase sounded formal, but it was useful. Clear information before someone made an assumption. "Thank you," I said. After the call, Anna closed her notebook. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." "It was already hard." "You know what I mean." "I do." She carried her glass to the sink. "The whole point of this campaign is that schools have to see children as more than data points. Then start by seeing them as people who can say no." Her head turned sharply. "I said I made a mistake, and I'm trying to make sure it doesn't become the structure of the next 2 weeks." Anna faced the sink. "You're enjoying having the moral high ground." That startled me. There was nothing enjoyable about any of this. "I don't want high ground," I said. "I want fewer people asking June about something she didn't choose to share." Anna did not answer. The next afternoon, June texted from school. "Can you pick me up?" Not the bus. A minute later, she added, "I left class. Please don't make it a huge thing. I left work early." The audio was coming down from the places we could reach, but the story attached to it had already found other routes. June was waiting outside the main office with her backpack at her feet and her arms folded tight across herself. The secretary gave me the neutral nod school staff learned to give parents. No questions, no performance of concern. I appreciated it. June got into the car and shut the door hard enough to rattle Owen's old plastic dinosaur on the dashboard. "You okay?" I asked. "No." "Fair." I drove past the turn for home and parked beside the small park behind the community center. June looked at me. "Why are we here?" "Because you asked me not to make it a huge thing. This is medium-sized, at most." A breath escaped her. Not quite a laugh. She leaned her head back against the seat. "I was in history. Maya said her mom saw the campaign video before it came down." I waited. "She said her mom thought it was powerful. Then she said, 'I didn't know you had anxiety that bad.'" "What did you say?" "Nothing. I said I had to go to the bathroom." Her hands twisted together. "Maya wasn't trying to be mean," she said. "I know. Which makes it worse. It can." She kept saying Mom was brave for talking about it. I looked down at the gear shift. "I'm sorry. Why does everyone think it's brave if it happened to me but somebody else tells it?" I wanted an answer that would improve the day. There wasn't one. "I don't know," I said, "but I understand why you're angry." "I'm not angry all the time." Her voice rose, then caught. "Now when I'm in the hallway, I wonder if people are looking at me because they heard it." The hallway was what June's recording had been about. The passing period, bodies moving in both directions, lockers banging, the moment when she could not make herself step into the crowd. She had fought hard to make school feel like hers again. Now strangers carried a version of that fight around with them. Did you talk to anyone before you left? I asked. The counselor was in a meeting. I told the office I didn't feel good. That was enough. Mom says the audio is down. It is from the main campaign channels. Sasha is working through the rest they control. But it doesn't go away. No. June watched me, as if checking whether I was agreeing because I thought that was my job. I want to talk to both of you, she said. Okay. Not separately. I don't want you to tell Mom your version, and then she tells you hers, and then everybody decides what I mean. I can set that up. And Owen can't be there. He won't be. I don't want you guys talking about other stuff. Whatever's going on between you. We can make the conversation about the launch and what you need now, I said. Nothing else. You promise? Yes. Mom will want to explain. She may. I don't care why. I understand. She cares about kids, June said, rubbing at her cheek. That's what makes me feel crazy. She does care. You're not crazy. I didn't say I was. No, I said. You didn't. I called Anna before we went home. I told her June wanted both of us in the room, Owen elsewhere, and no postponement, because a campaign event was on the calendar. Anna was quiet. Then she said, tomorrow night. When I hung up, June did not ask what her mother had said. Don't make me start, she said. You won't have to. I could not promise an easy conversation. I could make sure June had a clear place to stand in it. Owen went to my sister's for dinner the next night. She had promised him pizza and a movie, which was true. We did not tell him his sister needed the house quiet enough to say something difficult. June sat at one end of the living room couch with her knees pulled up. Anna and I sat in separate chairs across from her. Anna had made tea nobody touched. June stared at the carpet for almost a minute. You don't have to start with the whole thing, I said. Start anywhere. She nodded. The part that hurt wasn't just hearing it at the library, she said. That was awful. But then everybody acted like I should understand why Mom did it. Anna's face changed. Afraid, not defensive. You said it was for a good reason, June said. I did, Anna said quietly. And people kept saying it was important. Like because it was about school stuff, I was supposed to be okay with it. I'm sorry. I know you're sorry now. June looked directly at her. But you knew I'd say no. Anna glanced at me, then back at June. Yes? Why? The question was simple enough to strip everything else away. Because I thought people needed to hear what it was like, Anna said. That's not why. Anna stopped. That's why you wanted to use it, June said. Why did you think you could use mine? I felt my chest tighten. Anna looked toward the dark window. I thought I could turn something painful into something that helped people. And I thought because I was your mother, I could make that choice. June's mouth pressed into a line. I was wrong, Anna said. I should have asked. When I knew you would say no, that should have ended it. You knew I didn't want people to know. Yes. So you decided wanting people to know was more important. Anna's eyes filled, but she did not look away. Yes. June let out a breath. Okay. It was not forgiveness. It was the sound of receiving the answer she had expected. You shouldn't have had to make room for any of this, I said. June looked at me. You didn't stop it either. The words landed cleanly. I didn't know before it happened, I said. But after? You kept saying you didn't want to make things worse. You acted like if you stayed calm, it wouldn't be a big deal. I could have listed what I had done. The calls, the hold-on campaign content, the questions I had asked. From June's side, none of that changed the fact that I had treated the conflict like something to contain. You're right, I said. I was trying to keep the peace. I made you feel like your being hurt was another thing to manage. June blinked fast and looked away. My father had done that in a different form. He went quiet when conflict came, and everyone else learned to guess what was allowed. I had told myself staying in the room made me different. It did not help if I stayed there and still refused to say what needed saying. Anna picked up her tea and set it down again. What do you need from me now? I don't know. That's okay, Anna said. I don't want to go to campaign things anymore. You don't have to. And I want the audio gone. We'll ask everywhere we can. I can't promise every copy will disappear. I know. I also won't talk about your anxiety publicly anymore, Anna said. Not in speeches, interviews, or as an example. June watched her. If I want to share anything about either of you, Anna continued, I ask first. You can say no. Even if it's for a good reason? June asked. Anna closed her eyes briefly. especially then. For a while, nobody spoke. Then Anna said, I still think public calm matters. I don't want either of you feeling like the ground is moving under you. June's shoulders went stiff. It already is. Anna looked down. I had agreed to 6 weeks because I thought a deadline could contain the damage, keep routine steady, make decisions later, let the election pass. But the noise had moved inside the house. June carried it into school hallways. Owen was trying not to need anything. Anna still treated visible calm as care, and I had helped make that possible by mistaking delay for protection. I don't think we can keep doing this the same way, I said. Anna lifted her head. What does that mean? It means the kids are done with campaign events, all of them. And we need a plan that isn't based on pretending until November. Her face went pale, then hard. You're choosing now? 2 weeks out? I should have chosen sooner. June stood. Can I go upstairs? Yes, I said. Anna did not reach for her. Good night, June. June nodded and left. After her door closed, Anna sat very still across from me. You said you would wait, she said. I said I wouldn't announce anything. That's not the same as blowing up our family in the last 2 weeks of my campaign. I'm not trying to blow anything up. It feels like you are. I looked toward the staircase. Then we need a different definition of calm, I said. Owen's teacher caught me outside the elementary school just as the final bell let out. Mr. Harrow, do you have a second? I did. A teacher did not stop a parent at pickup to compliment the parking. Ms. Larkin stood near the blue doors, her lanyard tucked into the pocket of her cardigan. Behind her, kids spilled onto the sidewalk in bright backpacks and loose shoelaces, calling to one another as if they had not spent all day in the same building. Owen's fine, she said quickly. This isn't disciplinary. He's doing well in class. Okay. He's been quiet about his science project. They're supposed to work in pairs, and he told me he was going to do the whole thing himself because his partner has soccer and he didn't want to bother anyone. I looked through the glass doors. Owen was sitting on a bench by the office, his backpack upright between his sneakers. His hands rested over the straps as if he were waiting somewhere he had not meant to be. Did his partner ask him to do that? No. His partner was surprised. Ms. Larkin's expression softened. Owen just seems determined not to create extra work for anyone lately. I thought you'd want to know. I do. Thank you. Owen came out when I waved. He saw Ms. Larkin, saw me looking at him, and his face tightened before he crossed the sidewalk. What? He asked. Nothing bad. I took his backpack before he could object. Ms. Larkin said the science project is starting. Oh. She said you were planning to do the whole thing alone. He shoved his hands into his coat pockets. Eli has soccer. Eli can still do the project. I know. We walked toward the car. The crossing guard raised her orange stop sign, and a line of cars idled at the curb. I had parked half a block away because the pickup lane made adults behave as if 7 minutes of waiting were a personal insult. Once he had buckled in, I asked, "What's the project?" Water filtration. That sounds messy. It's supposed to be. Good. Otherwise, it's just a worksheet with dirt in it. He gave me a small, reluctant smile. At the first red light, I said, "Why did you decide you had to do all of it?" He shrugged. "You can tell me the real answer. You're not in trouble." The light changed. I turned onto Cedar Street and waited until the next one. Finally, he said, "Mom has a lot of stuff, and June's been upset, and you've been doing all the rides." He picked at his thumbnail. I thought if I just did it, nobody would have to help me. The traffic noise seemed louder than it had a minute earlier. "You're allowed to need help," I said. "I know." "No, I mean even when things are busy, especially then." He looked over at me, wary of a speech. "I can help with the project," I said, "or we can figure out what part Eli does. That's normal. You don't have to become the easy one because the rest of us are having a hard week." His eyes dropped back to his hands. "Can I still ask you to get poster board? You can ask for poster board, a glue gun, or a working model of the Allegheny River. We'll set limits if we have to." That got a real smile. At home, I added poster board to the grocery list on the refrigerator. It sat beneath campaign mailers, Owen's dental reminder, and a faded magnet from the zoo. Ordinary paper, trying to hold a household together. Anna came in 20 minutes later, speaking into her phone about turnout numbers. She nodded at us without ending the call. Owen went upstairs to start homework. I watched him go and understood that the truce had not kept the children out of the conflict. It had taught them to work around it. That night, after Owen and June were asleep, I asked Anna to sit down at the kitchen table. "We need to talk about what happens next," I said. Anna looked at the clock before she sat. It was 10:18. Her laptop was open on the counter, campaign tabs spread across the screen. A mug of tea had gone cold beside it. In the late quiet, every cabinet door in the house sounded louder than it should. "I have an early start," she said. "So do I." "Then what is this?" I pulled out the chair across from mine. "It's about the kids not doing campaign events anymore." Her expression changed only a little, her mouth closing, one hand flattening against the table. "We've talked about this." "We have. I don't think you heard the part where I meant it." "Miles. No June. No Owen. No more photos. Appearances that are called family nights, quotes, stories, nothing new. You already put the content on hold." "I did. This is broader than content." She leaned back. "You want them hidden? I want them left alone." "That isn't the same thing. It is if every public room they enter becomes proof that we're fine." The kitchen light shone hard on the table. For a moment, she looked tired rather than angry. I could see the month on her. Short sleep, constant phone checks, the campaign smile that sometimes followed her home from events. "People are watching," she said. "Not in some dramatic way. They're watching because the launch video became a thing and because people notice when a candidate's family vanishes. Then they can notice. That will create speculation. Speculation is not worse than using June to settle people down. I'm not using her. You used her voice. I removed it. After you played it for a room full of people and put it online." Her eyes flashed. "I said I was sorry." "You said you were sorry." That stopped her. I went on, quieter. "But you keep treating the removal like it ends the question of whether the kids owe the campaign anything else." Anna pushed her chair back an inch. "You think having us disappear is going to help June? You think the kids won't feel something is wrong if you make rules around where they can go? They already feel it. That doesn't mean we make it bigger. Keeping it quiet has made it bigger in this house." She looked past me toward the dark hall. June's room was at the end, Owen's across from it. There was no way to have a marriage problem in a small house without it reaching their doors. "The final form is next week," Anna said. "There will be local press. If we arrive together, sit together, and act normal for one night, it could settle some of this down." "Settle what down?" "The questions, the attention, the impression that something is wrong." "Something is wrong." Her jaw tightened. "You keep talking about calm like it's free," I said. "It isn't. June pays for it. Owen pays for it. I pay for it when I stand beside you and let people read whatever they want into us." "And what do you propose?" she asked. "We tell everyone our marriage is broken 10 days before an election?" "I'm not proposing that." "Then what?" "I'm saying I won't help you stage a family." The campaign had been on the refrigerator for 6 weeks, in the calendar, on the laundry room counter, under stacks of mail. I had kept trying to find a route around it, temporary detours, adjusted timing, something that got us through without shutting anything down. But a detour only worked if it got people where they needed to go. Anna rubbed her forehead. "You're making this unstable." "No. I'm done asking the kids to carry stability for us." She looked at me directly then, not agreement, but recognition. She understood I was no longer asking her to see it my way. "You're punishing me," she said. "I'm not trying to punish you." I took a breath. "I'm deciding what I can participate in, and I can't participate in that." She stood, carried her mug to the sink, and let the water run longer than necessary. When she went upstairs, I stayed at the table with my hands pressed against the wood. Refusal by itself was not a plan. If I was going to stop pretending the truce protected anyone, I needed a place for the children to be, a schedule that did not change whenever Anna had an event, and a way to speak without turning every exchange into another midnight argument. The next morning, during my break, I called the Community Parenting Center and asked whether a counselor could meet with me soon. The Community Parenting Center occupied the second floor of an old brick building behind a pharmacy on Grant Avenue. The lobby had mismatched chairs, a fish tank with one fake plant, and a bulletin board crowded with flyers for parenting groups, school meal programs, and a 6 a.m. yoga class run by people with more discipline than I had. My appointment was with a counselor named Dana Feld. I had expected someone older, maybe because I still associated advice with gray hair. Dana was probably in her 30s. She wore a dark green sweater and held a legal pad in her lap. "I understand you're looking for support around a possible separation," she said. "Temporary separation," I said too quickly. She nodded. "Okay. I don't know what it is yet. I know what happened. I just don't know the end point." "You don't have to know that today." That should have relieved me. Instead, it made my chest tighten. Not knowing the end point was what I had been using as a reason not to begin. I told her about the launch video first. June's voice in the library. Anna admitting she had not asked, because June would have said no. I mentioned the affair only enough to explain why the campaign seemed to run through every conversation in the house. Dana did not interrupt much. When I stopped, she asked, "What are you hoping will change before the election?" "I want the kids out of the campaign. And after the election, I want them to have a routine they can count on." "What about you?" I laughed once without humor. "I can make a spreadsheet for that if necessary." "I'm sure you can." "That's not an answer, is it?" "No." I looked through the window at Grant Avenue. A bus pulled to the curb below, lowered for a passenger using a wheelchair, and eased back into traffic. "I want to stop being the person who absorbs everything until somebody else decides what happens," I said. Dana made a note. "What does that look like for you?" The obvious answer was the last 6 weeks. The better answer reached further back. "My dad went quiet when he was angry," I said. "He didn't leave. He'd just stop answering. My mother would talk around him, make dinner, ask if he wanted coffee. We all learned the weather." Dana waited. "I told myself I wasn't like him because I stayed in the room," I said. "But I can make things smooth enough that nobody has to deal with what I think." "That may have helped you get through conflict when you were young," she said. "It may not be helping your children now." The sentence did not feel tidy. It felt like noticing a crack in a sidewalk I had crossed every day without looking down. "I don't want them to think they have to choose between us. They shouldn't have to. I don't want June to feel like I'm making decisions for her again. Or Owen to think he needs to be low maintenance because the adults are struggling." "Those are useful goals," Dana said. "They can guide a temporary plan." Temporary mattered. It was small enough to hold. Before I left, Dana gave me the name of a family mediator who worked through the center, Ellen Cormack. She also suggested I speak with a local family law professional for general information before making housing decisions. "Not because you need to turn this into a legal fight," she said. "Clear information can keep you from acting out of panic." That I understood. You did not need to be planning a war to check whether a bridge was open before sending people over it. At work that afternoon, I opened a blank document between 2 accessibility reports and wrote a list. School mornings, pickup coverage, June's privacy, Owen's project, rent, utilities, food, communication, campaign events, no children. It was not a solution. It was a starting point. That evening, I drove through the blocks near Marlowe High and Owen's school, checking apartment listings only when I was parked. I did not need something impressive. I needed somewhere close enough that a 10-year-old's school walk did not become collateral damage. The family law office was above a dental practice downtown, with a brass directory in the lobby and a waiting room full of magazines nobody had touched since spring. The attorney Carla Reyes had been recommended by Dana. She shook my hand and said, "This is a consultation. We can talk through general considerations, but I can't tell you what your future will look like after one meeting." "That's fair," I said. It was also what I needed to hear. I explained that Anna and I were still in the house, that we had 2 children, that I was considering a nearby apartment, and that I wanted to keep things as steady as possible. I did not ask Carla to predict an outcome or decide who was right. She asked practical questions: school schedules, pickups, finances, whether either of us had immediate safety concerns. "No," I said. "Nothing like that." She spoke about writing down interim agreements in clear language, keeping communication factual where possible, and avoiding sudden choices that would disrupt the children unnecessarily. She said mediation could be useful if both parents were willing to use it honestly, even if neither of us knew what the marriage would become. "An interim plan is not a final answer," she said. "It can reduce confusion while you work through the next part. So I don't need a promise from Anna before I rent a place. You need to understand your budget and your practical responsibilities. Beyond that, I would be careful about waiting for emotional certainty that may not arrive on a schedule." That landed harder than I expected. Afterward, I sat in my car with the parking receipt on the passenger seat and a list of rentals open on my phone. Then I drove north toward the small apartment buildings off Beechwood Avenue. The first place was too far from Owen's school unless I wanted him up before 7 every morning. The second had a rent number that made my stomach hurt before I saw the unit. The third was above a bakery, with steep stairs and a kitchen the size of a transit office supply closet. The fourth was a modest 2-bedroom in a brick building near Marlow High. The bedrooms were narrow, but the windows faced a row of maples. There was a bus stop at the corner, a grocery store 6 blocks away, and a walk to Owen's school that was longer than the one from the house but still workable. I walked it myself. 22 minutes at my regular pace. 28 if Owen stopped to inspect every leaf, loose screw, and interesting puddle. The property manager showed me through the apartment. The kitchen cabinets were old but clean. The living room wall had one dent where a previous tenant had apparently learned something about moving furniture. "It's not fancy," he said. "That's okay. It'll be available next week if you decide." I stood in what could become June's room. It had one window and a closet door that stuck halfway open. I could picture a desk beneath the window, headphones on a hook, a space that belonged to her without becoming a symbol of anything. On the drive home, I called the Community Parenting Center and requested an intake appointment with Ellen Cormack. Then, after sitting outside the house longer than necessary, I went inside and found Anna in the dining room sorting campaign literature into piles. "I met with someone today," I said. She looked up. "A lawyer?" "For general information, and I called a mediator." Her hands stopped moving. "Miles, that feels extreme. I'm looking at apartments nearby." "So you've decided?" "I've decided we need a workable plan. I'm asking you to come to mediation intake with me." Anna looked down at the brochures. Her face was pale under the dining room light. "You're doing this now," she said. "Yes." The answer frightened me, but it did not feel unclear. Ellen Cormack had a quiet office at the far end of the parenting center, away from the playroom and reception desk. There were 2 soft chairs, a round table, and a shelf of children's books arranged by height instead of subject, which seemed like a choice made by someone who knew children would pull them all down anyway. Anna sat across from me with her coat still on. She had come straight from a campaign stop. Her phone lay face down on the table, though it lit twice before Ellen began. "I'm not here to decide whether you separate, reconcile, or pursue any legal process," Ellen said. "My role is to help you make short-term agreements that reduce stress for your children." Anna nodded once. Ellen looked at me. "Miles, what feels most urgent?" I had brought a notebook. Of course I had. I kept it closed for a moment so I would not sound like I had arrived to submit a proposal to City Council. "The kids' routines," I said. "School, pickups, where they sleep, how we communicate, and privacy. I don't want either child's private experiences used publicly without asking them." Anna breathed out through her nose. "This is all happening because of the campaign." "It's happening because of what happened to June." I said I was sorry. Ellen held up one hand. She was not taking sides. She was keeping us from returning to the same track. "Can we separate accountability from the practical question?" she asked. "The practical question is whether you can both agree to a standard going forward." Anna looked toward the window. "What standard?" she asked. "That neither parent shares a child's private experience publicly without informed agreement," I said. "Not in a campaign, not through work, not to make a point at a dinner." "It sounds like you're accusing me every time you say it." "I'm not trying to accuse you. I'm trying to make it clear," Ellen said. "Clear agreements can matter when trust has been damaged." Anna's eyes came back to mine. "And what does informed agreement mean to you?" "It means they know what is being shared, where it is going, and why. And they can say no without being argued into yes." For the first time, she did not answer immediately. Ellen wrote something down. "That is a good starting definition." We moved through the rest slowly. If I rented the Beechwood apartment, the children could stay there on certain nights once it was ready. Until then, we would not make sudden changes. We would keep school pickups consistent. We would use text for logistics when possible and not send messages through the children. No campaign events for June or Owen. If there was a school event, we could both attend as parents, but neither of us would treat it as campaign material. Anna shifted in her chair. "I still think keeping them home from everything will make this stranger for them," she said. "I'm not saying they can't have lives," I said. "I'm saying they don't have to be part of yours as a candidate." "That's a distinction you get to make?" "It's a distinction they get to make." The room went quiet. Ellen did not rescue either of us from it. I appreciated that. A good agreement had to survive the silence after it was said. Anna finally spoke. "I think this is premature." "It may be," Ellen said, "but an interim agreement does not require either of you to have a final answer about the marriage. It asks what will reduce uncertainty for the children this month." Anna pulled her phone closer without looking at it. "And if I don't agree to all of this?" "Then we identify the points where you do agree," Ellen said, "and the points that need more discussion." At the end of the meeting, Ellen gave us each a summary of the tentative points and scheduled a fuller session for election morning. In the parking lot, Anna stopped beside her car. "You're really going to get the apartment?" she said. "Yes." "You're not even waiting until after Tuesday?" "No." Her face changed. Anger was still there, but something more exposed sat beneath it. "You've been waiting for years to tell me I'm impossible to live with." "That isn't what this is." "It feels like it." "I know it does." She shook her head, got into her car, and drove away before I could add anything that would make the answer easier for either of us. The next day, I called the property manager and told him I wanted the apartment. Priya chose the coffee shop across from the courthouse because, as she put it when I arrived, "Nobody from the campaign comes here unless they're lost or being subpoenaed." I looked at her. She lifted a hand. "That was a joke? Bad timing?" "Administrative humor is always dangerous," I said. That earned a brief smile, then she got serious. The place was nearly empty at 4 in the afternoon. A student in a knit cap worked at a corner table beneath a sign advertising pumpkin cold brew. Priya had tea. I had coffee I did not need. "I wanted to tell you directly," I said. "June and Owen won't participate in any remaining campaign events. I won't either, as family support." Priya took that in without asking why. "Okay," she said. "Do you want me to tell Sasha?" "You can tell whoever needs to know for scheduling. I'm not asking you to manage anything beyond that. Understood? And I'm not asking you to take sides." "I wasn't planning to," she said, not unkindly. "That's why I called you." Priya had known Anna and me long enough to recognize a sentence that carried more than it said. She was also good at leaving people the dignity of their boundaries. "I'm sorry things are hard," she said. "Thank you. I should tell you something practical then." I waited. For the Civic Forum, the campaign reserved a family row, front section near the stage. The organizers said local media will be there, and the campaign had assumed you, Anna, and the kids would arrive together. My coffee had gone cold enough that I could smell the burnt edge of it. "Reserved seating," I said. "Yes." "Like a wedding party." Priya gave me a look. "I didn't set it up." "I know." She folded her hands around her tea. "I thought you should know before someone sent you an enthusiastic email with too many exclamation points." It was thoughtful. It also confirmed what I had been trying not to see. The campaign had not only expected our absence to be quiet, it had made room for our presence. A row of chairs had been set aside for us to sit in and make the picture whole. "Has Anna asked you about it?" Priya said. "Not yet. She may think it's just support." "It isn't just support if there's a designated place for us to be seen." Priya nodded. "Fair." I did not tell her about Mateo. I did not tell her Anna had asked me to preserve the appearance of a marriage through Election Day. Priya was the campaign treasurer, not a witness I needed to build. "Could you make sure no one contacts June directly about it?" I asked. "Yes, I can do that." "Same for Owen." "Of course." Outside, a city bus rolled down Market Street, brakes sighing at the curb. I watched a man with a stroller board through the front door while the driver waited for him to get the wheels straight. Priya said, "What do you need from me after this?" "Only the facts. If something is scheduled around the kids, tell me. If something needs to be removed, send it through the normal process." "I can do that." When I left, the sky was already thinning toward evening. I sat in my car and looked at the Civic Forum event on the shared household calendar. Anna's name in blue, forum call time, media check, candidate arrival, nothing about the reserved family row. At home, June was at the dining room table with headphones on, editing something on her laptop. Owen was cutting pictures of sand and gravel from an old magazine for his water filtration poster. I stood in the doorway and watched them work. A few feet away, on a different screen, Anna's campaign had planned where our bodies would go. I knew then that I could not let her define attendance as ordinary family support. Anna took the campaign call on the front porch because the kitchen had stopped being private enough for either of us. I sat at the table with Owen's math folder open beside my laptop, pretending to review a work agenda. Through the front window, I could see Anna moving under the porch light, one hand pressed to her forehead. June was upstairs. Owen was in the den, building a city from magnetic tiles with a movie soundtrack playing low on his tablet. Anna came back in after 10 minutes and shut the door carefully. "Mateo is going to finish the final media pieces," she said. I looked up. "Okay?" "He already has the files. Replacing him now would create more disruption." "Is there family material in any of it?" "No." The answer came quickly. "Sasha has the hold in place. You know that." "I know Sasha has the hold." Anna crossed to the counter, picked up the unopened mail, then put it down again. "I'm trying to keep the last week from becoming chaos." "You're asking me to help keep it from becoming chaos. I'm asking you not to make it worse." The sentence sat between us. Not loud, not dramatic. It was almost worse that way. I closed my laptop. "I haven't contacted anyone about you and Mateo." "I know. I haven't told Priya anything beyond what the kids and I can't attend. I haven't made a public issue out of this." Her mouth tightened. "That's not what I mean." "No, I know what you mean." I stood. "You need everything to keep looking manageable until Tuesday." Anna leaned against the counter. She had the exhausted look I'd seen after non-profit board meetings, when she had spent 3 hours getting adults to agree to something they should have settled in 40 minutes. "I made a mess," she said. "I understand that." "Do you?" She looked at me. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Turn every conversation into a test I can't pass." The old version of me would have backed away. My father had a way of making himself smaller when my mother got angry, quiet enough that the argument lost its shape. He called it not escalating. Sometimes it was. Sometimes it was just leaving someone alone inside a problem he had helped create. I kept my hands on the back of a dining chair. "This isn't a test," I said. "I'm not asking you to say the right thing. I'm telling you I can't manage your campaign problem for you." Her eyes flicked toward the den. I lowered my voice. "You made professional choices involving Mateo while you were involved with him. That is yours to address. I'm not going to make him the center of this house, and I'm not going to use any of it against you, but I'm done treating the kids and me like damage control." For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. The refrigerator hummed. Owen laughed at something on the tablet, then lowered the volume as if laughter itself might be too much. Anna heard it too. Her shoulders dropped. "I'm not asking the kids to do anything," she said. "You asked for the forum." "I asked you to consider it." "June already answered." Anna looked away. The next morning, I met with the owner of the apartment building I had looked at twice already. Mrs. Feld let me into the first-floor unit and waited while I walked through it again. It was not beautiful. The bedrooms had beige carpet, the kitchen was narrow, and the radiator clicked like it was trying to send a message. But the windows faced south, and the school routes worked. June could get to Marlowe High without crossing Park. Owen could still walk to elementary school on my mornings if we left with enough time. I could get to work without turning every weekday into a small transportation project. It was near enough. That mattered more than I expected. Mrs. Feld handed me the lease folder. "You want to think on it?" I looked through the living room window toward the high school water tower. "No," I said. "I think I'm done thinking in circles." Mrs. Feld met me at the apartment on Saturday morning with a key ring that looked heavy enough to qualify as a defensive tool. "You'll want the front key and the building key," she said. "The basement key is mostly for laundry. There's one machine. People take turns like civilized adults until somebody leaves a sock in there for 6 days. That's the lease addendum I was hoping for." She gave me a brief look, deciding whether I was joking. Then she smiled once. I signed where the tabs marked my name. The rent was manageable if I stopped acting as though every convenience was a necessity. There would be no new furniture beyond beds, a kitchen table, and whatever I could carry in my car without making 10 trips. I had a spreadsheet at home that made the numbers look less frightening than they felt. Still, the plan held. Not generously, not elegantly, workably. Mrs. Feld took the signed lease and handed me 2 keys. "Move-in starts whenever you're ready." I closed my hand around them. The place sounded different, empty. Every footstep came back to me. In the second bedroom, sunlight landed in a clean rectangle on the carpet. I pictured Owen's backpack under the window, his shoes wherever he dropped them despite my best efforts. June would need a door that shut and a place nobody entered because they were looking for a charger. I did not want them to think I had built a second home around their inconvenience. I wanted them to know there would be a place for them. By afternoon, I had bought 2 basic bed frames from a store outside town and spent an hour putting one together with instructions translated into a version of English that distrusted verbs. Owen came with me after lunch. Anna had agreed when I told her I wanted to show the kids the apartment, not ask them to approve it, just let them see what was changing before it happened around them. He stood in the middle of his room and turned slowly. "Can I have the room by the window?" "You can." "Is June getting the bigger one?" "Yeah." "Okay." He nodded as if he had signed off on a fair zoning decision. Then he went to the kitchen. "Where do we eat breakfast?" "At that table. Once I find a table." "Can I still walk to school?" "That's what I wanted to show you." We walked the route. It took 22 minutes at his usual pace, longer with a wet sidewalk, a loose shoelace, and the inevitable stop to inspect construction equipment. It used the same crossing light he already knew, just from a different direction. "On my mornings," I said, "we leave from here. Same school, same class, same friends. You still get to walk." "Would you walk with me?" "For as long as you want me to." He considered that. "Probably not forever." "Reasonable. I'm not looking to follow you into 5th grade." He smiled, then glanced back at the building. "Do I have to bring all my stuff back and forth?" "No. We'll make sure you have things in both places. Bring what you want, but you won't have to pack your whole life in a backpack." That seemed to reach him. He nodded again, more slowly. June came later, after the library with a friend. She did not walk around as much as Owen had. She stood in the living room looking at the empty walls. "It's close," she said. "That was the point." "I know. There'll be a desk in your room. Whatever you need for school. You don't have to make it nice because you feel bad. I'm not trying to buy your approval." "Good. I want it to be a place you can be without explaining yourself all the time." Something softened in her face, though not enough to call it relief. "What's the schedule?" she asked. "We're working on it with Ellen. For now, school nights stay predictable. Your mom and I are sorting the details. You don't need to settle them for us. I just don't want one of you saying something and the other one saying it isn't true." "That's fair." "It's not a promise?" "No. I wanted to offer one anyway. It's what I'm going to work toward." She looked around the apartment once more. Predictability is better than promises. That night, Anna made pasta and set a bowl in front of each of us as if dinner could still be a familiar shape if the food arrived at the correct hour. After Owen went to shower, she stayed at the table while June picked at the edge of her napkin. "The forum is Monday night," Anna said. "I know everyone is tired of talking about it, but I need to ask one more time." June did not look up. Anna continued. "There's a family row. You wouldn't have to do anything. No photos, no speeches. You could sit together and leave when it's over." June said, "I don't want to go." Anna swallowed. "I understand that. I'm just saying it might be easier if—" "No," I said. Anna looked at me. "Not might be easier," I said. "Not when she has already said no." The kitchen went quiet. June's hand stopped moving on the napkin. Anna spoke carefully. "I'm asking you too, Miles. And I'll answer after the mediation check-in tomorrow." I had already made the decision, but I needed it written down. Clear enough that no one could later call it a misunderstanding. The next evening, Anna set the table before I got home, which was unusual enough that June noticed. "We're having a meeting?" she asked from the kitchen doorway, her backpack still on one shoulder. "We're having dinner," Anna said. "That answer usually means a meeting." Owen grinned into his glass of milk. Even Anna almost smiled. The chicken had gone a little dry in the oven. Nobody complained. We had reached the stage of strain where small disappointments were handled with professional caution. After Owen carried his plate to the sink, Anna said, "Can we talk for 5 minutes before anyone goes upstairs?" June's shoulders lifted. "It's about Monday," Anna said. "The candidate forum." "I already said no," June replied. "I know." "Then what are we talking about?" Anna rested both hands on the table. "I'm not asking you to speak. I'm not asking you to be in pictures. The organizers reserved seating for families, and I thought maybe we could come together, sit in the row, and leave afterward. It would be one evening." "Why?" June asked. Anna took too long to answer. "Because people have been talking," she finally said, "about the video, about whether things are okay with us. If you're all there, it could quiet some of that down." June looked at me, not asking to be rescued so much as checking whether I had heard it too. So we'd be there to make people think things are okay. I didn't say that. You kind of did. Anna's face tightened. I said it would reduce speculation. About you. About the family. June pushed her chair back an inch. I don't want strangers to look at me and decide I'm helping you. Owen's eyes moved from June to Anna. He had not been told the adult reasons the house felt different, but he knew when a conversation had become sharp enough to need an exit. Can I be done? He asked. Yes, I said immediately. You can go. He stood, then hesitated beside June's chair. Do I have to go? No, Anna said too quickly. You don't have to go anywhere. He nodded and disappeared upstairs. Anna watched the stairwell for a moment. This is exactly what I'm afraid of. Everything is getting bigger for them. Because we keep bringing it to them, I said. Her eyes came back to mine. I am trying to get through one last event without our family becoming the story. The family row makes us part of the story. It's a row of chairs. It's a row of chairs set aside because they expect us to be visible. June stood. I'm going upstairs. Okay, I said. June, Anna began. June paused with one hand on her chair. I'm sorry you feel like I'm using you, Anna said. June's expression changed. Not anger this time, something flatter. I don't feel like it, she said. You did. Then she went upstairs. Anna sat very still. I could hear June's door close, not slammed, just shut. I'm trying, Anna said. I know you are. That sounds like you don't believe me. I believe you're trying to keep the campaign from falling apart. She stared at the space where June's plate had been. You think I don't care about her? I think you care about her. I also think you keep deciding what you need matters enough to decide for her. She rubbed at her temple. You keep acting like this is simple. It isn't simple. Then why are you so certain? Because certainty had arrived late, after I had spent weeks trying to make ambiguity sound mature. Because June had told us in plain language what she did not want. I'm certain about one thing, I said. The kids don't go. Anna's voice dropped. You can't make that call by yourself. I'm not making it for June. She made it. And Owen doesn't need to sit through a forum because the adults in his life need a reassuring picture from the back of the room. No one said picture. You keep changing the word and leaving the request the same. She stood, gathering plates she did not need to gather. One touched the counter, harder than necessary. For what it's worth, she said, I thought you would understand what it means to stand beside someone when things are hard. There was a version of me that would have taken that as an instruction. Stay beside her. Make it easier. Let the children's discomfort become part of the cost of supporting the person who asked for my support. Instead, I said, standing beside you as their father is different from putting them where you need them to be seen. If this kind of quiet family story stays with you, follow along. I'll keep telling it straight. The next morning, I put my notes for Ellen in a folder. School times, the apartment address, work coverage, upcoming school events, and one sentence I had typed 3 times before leaving it alone. No campaign participation for the children, no exceptions because an event was called Family Support. Ellen's office had 2 soft chairs, a small round table, and a box of tissues placed so deliberately in the center that it made me want to move it. Anna arrived 5 minutes late, carrying her phone face down in one hand. She sat across from me and said hello to Ellen without looking at me. This is an interim conversation, Ellen said. We're working on what helps June and Owen have reliable routines in the next few weeks. We are not deciding every question about your marriage or future today. Anna nodded once. I had brought a printed proposal. I knew paper could look aggressive in a room like that. I had tried to make it readable instead. A 2-week calendar, school drop-offs, pickup coverage, overnight arrangements once the apartment was ready, rules for schedule changes, and a short section on communication. Ellen read it before she spoke. You've kept it specific. I'm trying to. Anna gave a small, humorless laugh. He's very good at schedules. I know, Ellen said. The question is whether the schedule works for everyone who has to live it. That was fair. It was the kind of sentence I wished people used before announcing a service change. We went through the plan line by line. On my mornings, I would walk Owen to school. June could leave from either home depending on what felt simplest, with no requirement that she explain why. Anna and I would both attend school events when appropriate, but neither of us would treat a child's presence as campaign support. Schedule changes would go in the shared calendar and be confirmed by text. No messages through June or Owen. No asking either child to carry information for the other parent. When we reached campaign participation, Anna folded her hands tightly in her lap. "Do we have to write that part so broadly?" she asked. "The campaign is over in a few days." "The content issue doesn't end just because the campaign does," I said. "I've already agreed about the audio." "I know. Then why does it need to be in here?" "Because June should not have to keep checking whether an exception is coming." Ellen looked toward Anna. "What would a clear agreement feel like from your side?" Anna stared at the paper. "Like I'm being told I can't talk about my own family." "No," I said. "You can talk about your own experience. You can't share theirs." She looked up. "That sounds clean when you say it." "It isn't clean. It's just the line I should have held earlier." The room went quiet. I had not planned the sentence. It was true anyway. Ellen wrote the consent standard into her notes. No public sharing of either child's private experiences, recordings, images, quotations, or schoolwork without that child's informed agreement. No campaign use of family members or family-specific material without consent from those involved. Anna read it. "What counts as informed?" "Enough information to know where it will appear, who will see it, and that saying no is allowed," Ellen said. "The point is not to make a contract out of every family conversation. It's to remove pressure." At the end of the session, Anna agreed to the interim calendar. Not warmly, not in a way that made the room feel lighter. But she agreed. I went from the parenting center to the apartment, where a delivery crew had left 2 mattresses against the wall because I had not been there to direct them. I spent part of the afternoon assembling a table, then drove to the house for more clothes and the kids' things. Anna was waiting in the living room. "You signed the lease," she said. "Yes. So this is happening." "Yes." She folded her arms. "You're doing all of this 2 days before the election. I started preparing because keeping the truce was hurting the kids. You are abandoning me at the moment I most need a partner." There it was again. The word partner, carrying a demand I no longer understood the way she wanted me to. "I'm still their parent," I said. "I'll coordinate with you. I'll show up for school things. I'll handle my mornings and nights and whatever needs handling." "That isn't the same." "No, it isn't." She looked as if she might cry. I still wanted to rush in and fix the expression on her face. Wanting that did not make it a workable plan. "I asked you for 6 weeks," she said, "and I agreed." "You agreed, and now you're changing the terms." "I agreed not to announce a separation during the campaign. I did not agree to keep giving the campaign access to the children or to let delay mean yes." Her chin lifted. "You keep saying campaign like it's some separate person." "It became separate when it started asking for things our family didn't agree to give." I opened the message I had drafted for Sasha and copied Anna before I could revise it into something softer and less clear. "Family participation is withdrawn from all remaining campaign events and materials. Please do not request or use family-specific images, quotations, recordings, appearances, or references without direct, informed agreement from the individual involved. June and Owen will not attend the candidate forum." I hit send. Anna watched me do it. "That was unilateral," she said. It was clear. The following evening, she would walk into the civic forum without us. I would take June and Owen to the apartment, make dinner, and try not to turn a changed address into a performance of its own. The civic forum had a side entrance for staff, vendors, candidates, and people who needed to move between public life and whatever was happening behind the walls. Anna asked me to meet her there 30 minutes before the forum began. I parked 2 blocks away and walked around the building. Through the front glass, people gathered in the lobby, parents from the district, retired teachers, a local reporter with a camera bag, volunteers and campaign buttons. Folding signs leaned against the check-in table. The whole place smelled faintly of coffee from an urn near the doors. The service corridor was narrower than I expected. Gray cinder-block walls, a rolling cart stacked with bottled water. A metal door at one end marked "Exit Only." Somewhere beyond it, an audience was finding seats. Anna stood beside the water cart with her coat still on. She had a folder under one arm. "You came," she said. "I said I would." She nodded. "Are the kids in the car?" "No. They're at the apartment. We're making pizza." For a moment, she closed her eyes. "You could still bring them," she said. "The forum hasn't started." "No." "Miles." "No." Her face changed at the firmness of it. I had said no before, but I had usually added enough explanation afterward that she could work around it. They don't have to sit in the family row, she said. They could sit farther back. They could come in after it starts. That isn't what you asked for. I'm trying to find a way. The way is that they don't come. She looked toward the exit door. People are already asking why the seats are reserved. They'll find another use for chairs. This isn't funny. I'm not trying to be funny. She held the folder against her chest. I know June is hurt. I know I hurt her. I know I made decisions I shouldn't have made. But I thought if we showed up together tonight, nobody would have to wonder whether the family story was a lie. I could hear the audience through the wall now. Programs folding, chairs scraping, somebody coughing too loudly. The family story can't feel believable again because the kids sit in a row, I said. Anna's eyes filled, but she did not look away. I wanted them there because I wanted it to feel like we were still us. That landed differently. Not better, just more honest. I leaned against the wall. I understand that. Do you? Yes. I looked down at the scuffed floor, then back at her. I want things to be recognizable, too. I want Owen to stop asking whether he needs to stay out of the way. I want June to walk into school without wondering who heard something she never gave them. I want to sit at our kitchen table and not feel like every sentence has another purpose behind it. Anna's mouth trembled. But none of that comes back because we arranged them behind you at a forum. She pressed her lips together. I'm not exposing you tonight, I said. I'm not telling anyone about Mateo. I'm not standing up in that room to make this a public verdict on you. But I'm not going to help make the kids evidence that we're fine. I never said fine. You said calm. She let out a breath that might have been a laugh if either of us had felt capable of one. Calm matters, she said. It does. But the kind you're asking for costs too much. A volunteer opened the far door and stuck her head into the corridor. Anna, 2 minutes. Anna nodded without turning. The volunteer disappeared. Anna looked at me one last time. Will you tell them I'm sorry? I'll tell them you love them. You can tell them you're sorry yourself. She gave a small nod. Okay. I stepped aside so she could pass. The folder under her arm was thick with notes, the kind she had made a career out of turning into a public message. She paused at the door, then pushed it open. The sound from the auditorium rose around her. I drove to the apartment and found Owen standing on a chair in the kitchen while June read the pizza instructions as if they contained a hidden threat. You're not supposed to stand on that, I told him. I'm supervising. From elevation? Yeah. June looked at me. How was it? I took off my coat and hung it over the chair. Your mom is at the forum, I said. We're here. That was all I offered. Owen climbed down. Can I put the cheese on? You can put the cheese on. We ate in the living room because the table was still covered with packing paper and an unopened lamp. June chose a movie none of us watched closely. At one point, Owen fell asleep with his feet under a blanket and his head against my side. My phone buzzed on the coffee table. Anna, you ruined my last chance to restore calm. I read it twice before I answered. Me. The kids are settled. We can talk tomorrow about the schedule. Then I turned my phone face down and stayed where I was, listening to the apartment settle around us. The forum ended late enough that the pizza box had gone cold before Anna's next message arrived. I did not open it right away. Owen was asleep on the couch, and June had moved into the bedroom she had chosen, unpacking books one at a time onto the windowsill. The apartment looked less empty with their things in it, though most of what we had brought fit into 3 plastic bins and 2 grocery bags. I carried Owen to his room. He woke halfway through it. Did Mom win the talking thing? He asked against my shoulder. It wasn't a contest tonight, I said. Okay. He was already drifting again when I set him down. June stood in the hall after I pulled his door mostly closed. Is she mad? She's upset. At you? At the situation. That means yes. I leaned against the wall. You don't need to handle her being upset. I'm not. Good. June looked down the hall toward Owen's room. Is it going to be weird here? Probably sometimes. Honest. I'm trying. She nodded, and the fact that she did not argue with me felt like more than I deserved. After she went to bed, I opened Anna's messages. The first was the one I had seen. The second was longer. She said she had told the campaign chair that her relationship with Mateo had created a conflict the campaign needed to address. She did not give me details, and I did not ask for them. She said Mateo had stepped away from the remaining media work. Sasha and another volunteer would handle the final posts and election day materials. There was a sentence near the end that I read 3 times. I should have done this sooner. I could have used it as proof of something. I could have answered with every sooner that had passed. Before the launch video, before Priya's call, before she asked our children to sit in a row meant to make her life look steadier. Instead, I typed, "I'm glad you told them. The kids don't need details. Tomorrow's mediation is at 9. The answer came several minutes later. I know. In the morning, Owen woke before his alarm and wandered into the kitchen in dinosaur pajamas. He stopped when he saw the boxes. Do we have cereal? We have cereal. Milk? Milk too. This is not a survival situation. He opened the refrigerator and inspected the shelf. It kind of is. I poured milk into his bowl. Fair point. We need groceries. He ate standing up, then glanced toward June's closed door. Is she okay? She's having a hard time. Because of the forum? Partly. He nodded, taking that in. Did I do something? The question was so quiet I almost missed it. I pulled out the chair across from him and sat. No, I said. You didn't do anything. None of this is because of you. Your mom and I are working through grown-up problems, and we should have made sure you knew you weren't responsible for making things easier. He looked at his cereal. I can still be easy. You can be whatever you are. You can be loud or annoyed or need help with a project. You don't have to be easy. His eyes got shiny, and he blinked hard, clearly offended by the possibility of crying over cereal. Can I still have help with my volcano? He asked. You absolutely can. Though I reserve the right to say no to actual lava. He smiled into his spoon. At 9, Anna and I were scheduled to meet Ellen for our first full parenting session. The city would be full of signs, precinct maps, and last-minute messages telling people the future of their schools depended on a vote before 8 o'clock. June emerged wearing headphones around her neck. Do we have to come with you? She asked. No. You're staying here. Your mom and I are meeting Ellen. About the schedule? About the schedule and some rules. June gave a small nod. What kind of rules? Owen asked. The kind that make it easier for you not to have to guess what adults are doing, I said. That was the plan, anyway. Not a grand repair, just something clear enough for the children to stand on. Ellen's office at the Community Parenting Center had a round table that was trying hard not to look like a negotiation table. A box of tissues sat in the middle beside a water carafe and 3 matching legal pads. Outside the window, people came and went with coffee cups, strollers, and backpacks. Election morning was gray and wet. Anna arrived 10 minutes late in her campaign coat, phone face down in her hand. Sorry, she said. A volunteer called in sick. Ellen nodded. We still have time to make this useful. Anna sat across from me. We had spent the night in different homes, though we had not yet told the kids what the 2 homes would mean. They knew the apartment existed. They had slept there. The full shape of it was still waiting for the right conversation. Ellen set the draft calendar between us. This is an interim plan, she said. It does not settle every question about your marriage or your future. It gives June and Owen something predictable while you work through the next part. That made sense to me. A temporary route still needed posted times. People needed to know where they were supposed to be. We started with school mornings. Owen would keep his established walk to school on my mornings because the apartment was close enough. June would have flexibility between homes when school and her own comfort made one option simpler. Neither child would carry messages between us. Schedule changes would go in the shared calendar and be confirmed by text. Anna agreed to most of it with little argument. She looked tired enough that even her campaign makeup could not cover it. When we reached communication rules, Ellen asked, what does each of you need to make this workable? No campaign request through the kids, I said. No asking them in the moment, especially at an event. If something public involves either of them, we ask first. They can say no. Anna's mouth tightened. That's already what we're doing, she said. I looked at her. It wasn't, I said. Ellen let the silence stand. Anna lowered her eyes to the calendar. No, she said. It wasn't. The audio is being removed from campaign materials, she continued. The family photos, too. Sasha is handling the current channels and scheduled items. I told her not to use anything else. Voluntarily, Ellen said, writing it down. You are both agreeing to that process. Yes, Anna said. There would still be copies we could not reach. People who had seen the launch video, comments attached to posts neither of us controlled. We could not put June's voice back where it had belonged, but we could stop adding to the damage. Ellen turned to a clean page. Would it help to write down the consent standard? It would help me, I said. Anna looked up. What exactly are you asking for? If it's their experience, their picture, their schoolwork, their recording, we ask before sharing it, we explain where it's going and why, and no is an answer. Even for something small, she asked. Especially for something adults call small because they want it. Ellen wrote, neither parent will publicly share either child's private experiences, images, quotations, recordings, schoolwork, or personal information without informed agreement from that child. Informed agreement means the child knows what will be shared, where it will appear, and that they may decline without argument. Anna read it for a long time. Then she said, all right. It was not forgiveness. It was not warmth. But it was a rule we could keep. By the end of the session, we had a 2-week calendar, handoff rules, school event expectations, and an agreement not to discuss adult relationship details with June or Owen. We would explain the two-home arrangement together after the election when the campaign no longer got to decide the family's timing. Anna stood and reached for her phone. I have to go, she said. I know. At the door, she paused. Miles. I waited. I am trying, she said. I believed she was. I also knew trying had to show up in what happened next. Then keep the rule, I said. She gave one small nod and left for the last day of a race that no longer had our family arranged behind her. Owen wanted macaroni and cheese because it was election night, which apparently made boxed food ceremonial. Do candidates eat this? He asked as I stirred the sauce into the noodles. Only the serious ones, I said. June snorted from the counter. She had one earbud in and her history book open, though she had not turned a page in a while. The apartment kitchen was narrow, bright, and still partly full of boxes. But there were clean plates in the cabinet, a charger on the counter, Owen's sneakers lined up by the door. For that night, it was enough. Anna had gone to the election night gathering without asking us to come. No family photos, no reserved row, no attempt to make the four of us look settled for anyone else. After dinner, Owen spread his bridge project across the coffee table. June held down a curling edge of construction paper while I found tape. You're putting a bridge on a bridge project? She asked. It's a structural theme, Owen said. That is not what structural theme means. It does now. For 20 minutes, they were just siblings. Owen used too much glue. June corrected his spelling. He objected to being corrected. It was ordinary enough that I did not want to interrupt it. At 8:30, Anna texted, Can you talk? I stepped into the hallway and pulled the apartment door mostly shut behind me. Music and applause came through her end of the line. They called it, she said. I leaned against the wall. I'm sorry. I lost by less than 2 points. That's close. Close is still lost. There was nothing useful to say against that. She had worked hard. People had supported her positions. Losing did not turn the campaign into a public verdict on her as a mother or a wife. It did not make the library video less wrong either. After a moment, she said, I'm going to start individual therapy. I did not ask her to promise it. That sounds like a good next step, I said. She was quiet. I thought if I could get through tonight, she said, everything would stop feeling so urgent. The campaign was a deadline, I said. It wasn't a repair plan. I know. Someone called her name in the room behind her. I should go, she said. Okay. When I came back inside, Owen looked up from the poster. Was Mom sad? She's disappointed, I said. She worked hard and she didn't win. Can we call her? Tomorrow, June said gently. She's probably with people. Owen thought about that. Okay. We finished the bridge, found pajamas, and checked the locks twice because Owen had decided a new apartment required its own system. By the time the local stations were replaying election results, he was asleep with one sock half off. June went into her room and shut the door. The election was over. The schedule on the refrigerator said what happened in the morning. For once, that did not feel like avoiding the truth. It was where we had to begin. 3 days later, Anna and I told the kids about the separation at the house. Anna wanted it there, and I understood. Their rooms were upstairs. Their familiar chairs were in the living room. The hallway still had the dent Owen had made with his scooter 3 summers earlier. It was the place their bodies expected to be safe. June took the armchair by the window. Owen sat on the rug with a toy bus in his hands, turning one wheel with his thumb. Anna and I sat apart on the couch. I had rehearsed what to say in the car, then let most of it go. A plan could be clear without sounding like a presentation. Anna began. "We need to tell you both something about the next few months." Owen stopped turning the wheel. "We're going to live in 2 homes," I said. "I'll be at the apartment near June's school. Mom will be here at the house. We are both still your parents. We're both still handling school, meals, rides, doctor appointments, all of it." June's face did not change, but I knew knowing about the apartment was different from hearing what it meant. "We have a schedule," Anna said. "You'll know ahead of time where you'll be each night, and if something needs to change, we'll tell you directly." "Can I still walk to school?" Owen asked. "With Dad on Dad mornings?" I said. "Yes, that was one reason I picked the apartment." "With Mom?" "Same as now," Anna said. "You'll walk from here." He nodded, still looking at the toy bus. Then he asked, "Did I make you guys split up?" "No," Anna said immediately. I leaned forward. "No, buddy. This is an adult problem. Nothing you did caused it, and nothing you could have done would have fixed it." "But I was trying to be easy." "You don't have to be easy," I said. "You can need help. You can be loud. You can have a bad day or forget your homework or ask for something. You are allowed to take up space." His eyes filled. Anna looked at him before she moved. "Can I sit with you?" she asked. Owen nodded. She went down to the rug beside him, and he leaned against her shoulder. June looked at me. "So, are we supposed to be okay with this now?" "No," I said. "You don't have to be okay with it right away. Because it kind of sounds like you both have speeches prepared." Anna flinched slightly. June looked toward the window. "I don't need either of you telling me it'll be fine. I need you to do what you say you're going to do." "That's fair," Anna said. "And I don't want you asking me to explain this to people, at school or family or whoever." "We won't," I said. "No," Anna said. "We won't." We told them they could ask questions as they came up. They did not have to take care of either of us. They could be angry, sad, relieved, embarrassed, or none of those things. We did not give them the affair details. They did not need adult information that would only make their load heavier. Owen wiped his face with his sleeve. "Can we still do Pizza Fridays?" he asked. "Yes," I said. Anna smiled a little. "That definitely stays." June looked skeptical, but less shut down. "The things that stay," she said. "That's your whole plan?" "It's part of it," I said. "The rest is showing up." A week later, June had a media showcase at school. It would be the first time Anna and I stood together in a public room since the forum. The test would not be whether we could stand near each other. It would be whether we could let June have the evening without turning it into something about us. The Marlow High Media Showcase filled the library with headphones, short films, photo essays, and podcast stations between the shelves. June's table stood near the windows. She had set out 2 pairs of headphones, a handwritten sign, and a QR code for an audio piece about the sounds of leaving school at the end of the day. She had told us we could come. That was all. I stayed back while she showed a teacher how the audio levels worked. Anna stood beside me, hands in her coat pockets. The piece was good. Lockers clicked shut. A bus sighed at the curb. Sneakers moved down a stairwell in uneven waves. June had made an ordinary school afternoon sound, busy without making it frantic. When she took off the headphones, a woman Anna knew from the nonprofit stopped at the table. "This is wonderful," she told June. "We're putting together a newsletter about youth creativity next month. Would it be all right if we mentioned your project? Just a sentence, maybe a link if the school allows it." Anna looked at June, not the woman. "June," she said, "would you want that?" June's eyes moved between them. "No." Anna nodded immediately. "Okay," she said. "Then no." The woman blinked, then recovered. "Of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot." "You didn't," June said. Anna did not explain the answer. She did not turn it into maybe later, good exposure, or an opportunity for the nonprofit. She let no remain no. The woman moved on. For a moment, June stood with her hands tucked into her sweatshirt sleeves. Then she looked at Anna. "Thanks," she said. Anna's face changed almost too quickly to catch. "You're welcome," she said. I did not step in. Nothing needed translating. Later, walking to my car, June asked if I had liked the piece. I did, I said. The stairwell part got me. It's always louder than people think. It is. She gave me a sideways look. That sounded like a dad answer. It was a dad answer. I have a limited range. That got a small smile. By winter, the showcase had become one entry among many on the calendar. The two-house routine was not seamless. Owen still left math folders in the wrong place. June still changed plans when one home felt easier than the other. Anna and I still had to catch ourselves before speaking as if the children's time belonged to us. But we kept the rule. One Saturday afternoon, months later, June came to my apartment with a laptop case tucked against her side. June knocked once and came in before I reached the door. I have a key, she said. I know. You still knocked. Don't make it weird. I'm trying not to. She had a coffee cup in one hand and her laptop bag over one shoulder. Her hair was tied up loosely, and she looked tired in the regular teenage way. Too much school, too little sleep, nothing she wanted an adult to turn into a concern. I took her coat and hung it over a chair. Want something to eat? I got fries. That counts as food now? It's a potato and salt. Very complete. The apartment had changed since election night. There was a lamp in the living room, a plant I was keeping alive through persistence rather than skill, and framed drawings Owen had made for both homes. The kitchen was still small, but it had become ours in a practical way. June put her laptop on the table. I made something for media class, she said. Okay. It's not about the campaign. I didn't think it was. And it's not about anxiety. Okay. She glanced at me, checking whether I would fill the space with reassurance she had not asked for. It's just audio, she said. Mostly. That sounds like it belongs in media class. She rolled her eyes, but not with much force. I want you to hear it, she said. But it's not for sharing. Not with Mom, not with your work people, not with anyone. And don't turn it into a whole thing. I won't. I mean it. I know you do. She opened the laptop and clicked through a few folders. The file name was Final Mix 3, which told me there had been earlier versions, and that she had probably disliked every one of them at least once. She plugged in 2 pairs of headphones and handed one to me. For a moment, I remembered the old recording, not only the sound of June's voice in the library, but her hand going still beside mine. A file could be private until someone decided it was useful. This file had come through my front door in her bag. I sat across from her at the kitchen table and held the headphones without putting them on. Before I pressed play, I asked, "Do you want feedback, or do you want me to simply listen?" June looked at me over the top of her laptop. "Just listen," she said. "Okay." She pressed play. The piece began with a washing machine turning somewhere in the background. A kettle clicked off. A door opened and shut. Someone laughed from another room, too far away for the words to carry. There were footsteps on pavement, a crosswalk signal, the scrape of a chair across a floor. It sounded like a Saturday morning in pieces, though not any one Saturday morning I could identify. The sounds made room for each other. Nothing had to explain itself. Nothing was trying to prove a point. I listened. Halfway through, I wanted to ask where she had recorded the train sound. I wanted to tell her the silence before the kettle clicked made the whole piece work. I wanted to offer something useful. Instead, I listened. When it ended, June took off her headphones first. "Well?" she asked. I set mine on the table. I listened. She studied my face, waiting for the rest. Then she smiled. "Good," she said. Outside, a bus stopped at the corner before moving on. June reached for her cold fries. I put the kettle on and stayed at the table with her. She had invited me to listen. So I listened, just as you have listened to this family's journey unfold, which is why I encourage you to subscribe to the Infidelity Plus channel for more stories that explore the quiet, complicated corners of the human heart. How did you feel about the choices Anna, Miles, and June made to rebuild their lives? And which character did you find yourself relating to the most? Thank you so much for watching, and always remember that while we cannot undo the mistakes of our past, true healing often begins the moment we finally step back and give the people we love the space and respect to truly be heard.